Whoosh! The scorching flames enveloped Xiao Yan's body. He felt his vision go black, and at once, the two entered a special zone together. This is my domain barrier, called Desolate Flame. It is sufficient to erase you, and I consider it quite an honor to use it against you. Inside the domain, Xiao Yan was completely cut off from the outside world. The surrounding flames were fiery red, but exuded a demonic aura that could destroy everything. Xiao Yan furrowed his brow, while Yanlai spoke arrogantly, his body surrounded by burning flames that twisted and writhed with an imposing strength. Enough nonsense. Many people have tried to kill me, and you're probably not qualified to be one of them. Take my seal. Xiao Yan paid no heed to the words, his cold eyes flashing with an amber flame. His palm rapidly shifted with countless mysterious patterns, and his 7-star Do Xian mid-stage Do Qi poured out without reserve. His body even turned yellow from the sheer power. That was the power of immortality. As time passed and Xiao Yan refined his understanding, the power of immortality within him became more stable. Given time, he could reach the true state of immortality like the Demon Emperor. Heavenly King Seal. A cold snort swept through the air. Xiao Yan's arms suddenly shifted, forming numerous subtle hand seals. In an instant, his palm glowed with an ancient, piercing force, and a dazzling palm print shot toward Yanlai. Boom! The seemingly ordinary palm print tore through the void, overwhelming Yanlai with its immense force. The pressure and strength alone were enough to rival a true 7-star Do Xian peak expert. Hand of Desolate Flame. Yanlai sneered, his pale hand waving, and countless flames erupted from the domain. These flames gathered quickly onto his aging palm, merging into a blazing hot fire palm that shot toward Xiao Yan at lightning speed, crashing into his heavenly king seal. Whoosh! As the full force of Xiao Yan's strike collided with Yanlai's terrifying palm, scorching waves of fiery ripples spread throughout the Desolate Flame domain, and faint cracks appeared, showing that the domain was trembling. This Xiao clan descendant truly can't be underestimated. As the attacks collided, Yanlai was surprised to see Xiao Yan's attack stalemating his own. His eyes flickered slightly, muttering to himself, "This old guy is mid-stage 8-star Do Xian, with a deathless body like Lei Shi's. Even if I use Buddha's Fury reincarnation, it won't work. I'll have to try using the sacred flame to temporarily suppress him." Xiao Yan moved swiftly, unleashing the amber flames and the ancient ruler together. A terrifying power, so overwhelming that it made the entire domain shake, began to slowly pour out of his slim body. Desolate Flame. As the aftershocks of the attack began to dissipate, Yanlai's loud voice boomed like thunder. Whoosh whoosh. As Yanlai shouted, the flames from the domain coiled around his body, forming a red prison garment. The flames within it moved slowly, identical in aura to the ones in the domain. Look at this punch. Seeing Xiao Yan suspended in midair, Yanlai, an old hand at combat, shifted his body with a fierce strike, roaring at Xiao Yan. He wouldn't give Xiao Yan any chance to perform high-level Do skills. Thud. That Yanlai sure has keen instincts. Xiao Yan muttered to himself midair, his body quickly moving. His toes touched the ground of the domain, using the force to leap back into the air. However, under Yanlai's relentless attack, Xiao Yan found himself unable to retaliate. The difference in power between mid-stage 7-star Do Xian and mid-stage 8-star Do Xian was immense. The disparity in both physical strength and Do Qi was vast. It was clear that Xiao Yan had underestimated the strength of a mid-stage 8-star Do Xian, though it could also be due to Yanlai being revived through some special means. Otherwise, Xiao Yan could have easily slain him. Desolate Flame, Heavenly Sword. Seeing Xiao Yan leaping and dodging, Yanlai sneered and pressed his palms together, summoning a fiery red energy sword that shot toward Xiao Yan. Soul Clone, Xiao Lei. Seeing Yanlai's attack, Xiao Yan grinned strangely. With a flash, a figure identical to Xiao Yan emerged from behind him. Soul Clone? Wait, something's not right. Yanlai frowned as he watched the scene. It's up to you, Xiao Yan said indifferently. In an instant, his speed surged as he, in his black robe form, dashed directly toward the boundary of the barrier domain. On his palm, amber flames and the immortal fire were simultaneously injected into the eternal ruler. The overwhelming sacred flames slowly ignited the sacred runes on the eternal ruler. A powerful suppressive aura surged out, ghostly echoing heavenly illusions. As Xiao Lei in his white robe appeared, he glanced at the fiery red energy sword shadow and snorted coldly. The overwhelming soul power transformed into a crisp, humming roar that echoed throughout the flames in the domain. While not as terrifying as when the real body performed it, it was still effective. Clang! With a sharp sound, the fiery red energy sword shadow was suddenly pierced through effortlessly by the soul attack, and then it rushed toward Yin Lai with a whistling sound. Not good. Seeing Xiao Lei in white so bizarrely powerful, Yin Lai snorted coldly. Brilliant flames shot out, covering the sky to block the soul force. Boom! Such terrifying soul power, combined with Xiao Lei's imposing Do Qi, made Yin Lai feel like he was facing a great enemy. However, after a moment, the two forces perfectly neutralized each other again. I've had enough of this boring game. Desolate. After being toyed with twice by a mere mid-7-star Do Xian, Yin Lai seemed genuinely enraged. His aura skyrocketed to its peak, and cold roars swept out, bringing with him an overwhelming, destructive aura. He's really serious now. I know, it's almost there. Good. Xiao Yin and Xiao Lei communicated with their minds. Thunder. Xiao Lei in his white robe slowly rose into the air, his aura dissipating as though he had emptied all his strength. Meanwhile, a gray thunderbolt, like a newborn baby, slowly crawled out from the depths of Xiao Lei's body. The gray thunderbolt had almost no power, like a curious baby fascinated by the new world. But because of this, when Yin Lai's eyes locked onto it, his pupils involuntarily contracted as if he had seen something terrifying. Kill them! Yin Lai roared. Countless flames turned into numerous flame creatures of various shapes, roaring and releasing countless greedy auras as they swiftly charged toward Xiao Lei. The power of Desolate, no one understood. The destructive strength contained within it, once consumed, could instantly gravely injure even an 8-star Do Xian, let alone a mere 7-star Do Xian. Ziz. As the flame creatures came into contact with Xiao Lei's gray thunderbolt, they were like being electrocuted, suddenly freezing in place before exploding into powder. Xiao Lei's thunderbolt was terrifying. However, due to the vast power difference, Xiao Lei probably wouldn't be able to hold out for long. So what if you're a descendant of the Xiao clan? I, as a distinguished elder of the Yin clan, am certainly far beyond a mere 7-star Do Xian like you. Xiao clan today, I will finally exact my revenge. Go to hell. Seeing the thunderbolt around Xiao Lei weakening, Yin Lai's face contorted with a sinister roar, seemingly already seeing Xiao Yan's ugly face as he begged for mercy on the brink of death. Is that so? The prestige of the Xiao clan's ancestors is certainly beyond the reach of a mere commoner like you. Thus, be suppressed here. In the name of the Master of Sacred Flames, suppress all the evil in the four corners. As Yin Lai's savage roar echoed, a thin black-robed figure appeared before Xiao Lei. In his hand was a magnificent, dazzling eternal ruler, adorned with countless ancient, mystical flame patterns. An overwhelming aura that seemed to transcend the heavens and earth spread out. A cold, arrogant voice echoed throughout the barrier domain. Whoosh whoosh. As Xiao Yan's extremely arrogant voice faded, the eternal ruler, which was surrounded by 5 colored flames in his palm, suddenly solidified. It was hurled toward the enemy, and in an instant, a dazzling fire ruler several thousand feet in size shot forward with unmatched suppressive power, roaring toward Yin Lai. The power of sacred flames? Yin Lai, who was once so confident of victory, now had a serious expression. All the fire Do Qi in his body trembled violently. He could clearly sense a terrifying, suppressive aura emanating from the fire ruler. Who? Without waiting for any reaction from Yin Lai, the magnificent fire ruler froze the space where he stood. Even 5 colored flames detached from the ruler's shadow, forming a mysterious pentagram that completely isolated Yin Lai from his domain. In an instant, Yin Lai's internal power quickly waned, as if the sacred runes on the eternal ruler had drained his energy. His aura became disordered. Desolate flame roars. Looking at Xiao Yan's strange attack, Yin Lai coldly sneered as his Do Qi uncontrollably surged out of his body. Suppress it. Xiao Yan, however, paid no attention and sneered coldly. Despite Yin Lai's overwhelming strength and his immortal body, when facing Xiao Yan's suppression with the ancient ruler's sacred mark and the awe-inspiring might of the sacred flame, he could only be defeated. After a brief pause, Xiao Yan's Do Qi once again surged out, and the five-colored pentagram fire formation quickly devoured the last ounce of power within Yin Lai. Just as Yin Lai's Do Qi was about to start recovering, with the energy of the ruler's shadow, it forcibly suppressed him completely. How is this possible? Yin Lai felt his internal strength rapidly diminishing, losing control of the domain. Though he possessed the immortal body and had no fear, he was now being suppressed by Xiao Yan, which made him feel quite resentful. I'm not interested in wasting time with you. Xiao Yan coldly tossed out these words, the ancient ruler once again resting on his back. With a wave of his hand, the barrier domain was torn apart, and he headed toward the outside world. Boom! In a flash, Xiao Yan's figure disappeared, reappearing on the steps leading to the mountain peak. Clang! At this moment, Mo Zhe and Yin Ling's attacks caused countless scorching ripples of energy in the mountainside. Both of them were covered in various wounds, showing that they were engaged in a fierce and unresolved battle. How is this possible? Yin Ling was stunned as he saw Xiao Yan appear, hesitating immediately. Yin Lai's strength was on par with his. How could he be defeated by Xiao Yan? Little brother, it's up to you from here. Seeing Xiao Yan unscathed, Mo Zhe couldn't help but express his joy. Although he was unclear about Xiao Yan's exact strength, the fact that he had subdued the mid-8-star Docian Yin Lai and had a close relationship with Su Shuiying naturally won Mo Zhe's trust. Xiao Yan nodded, then without hesitation, activated the blaze art. The fire guard mastery floated around him, hiding with great concealment. Where are you going? Yin Ling coldly snorted, and his speed suddenly surged as he moved toward Xiao Yan with murderous intent. You are my opponent. Take this. At the same time, at the peak of the mountain, a great battle slowly unfolded at the matriarch hall. Following the jade stone steps, Xiao Yan reached the top. This was the highest residence of the Guardians, a forbidden area specially designated by them. Here, a vast square appeared, surrounded by thick fog, resembling a celestial realm. The ground of the square was paved with strange Brahma stones, which created a bumpy surface yet exuded an ancient and mysterious power. In the center of the square hung an extremely eerie black stone, surrounded by an extraordinarily powerful ceiling formation that completely sealed its power. As for the space within the ceiling formation, across from the black stone, there was a rather elegant house. What the Guardians are guarding. After a while, Xu Shao's gaze burned as he stared at the black stone not far away. Even with the ceiling formation, he could still sense an overwhelming and terrifying aura emanating from it. That aura was something that the cycle of reincarnation could not compare to. And this was his ultimate goal. The Xiao clan, in ancient times, was the true giant of the Great Thousand Worlds. As for why there was such an odd atmosphere with the Guardians, no one knew, but the secret within this black stone probably concerned the safety of the entire Great Thousand Worlds. Whoosh! Whoosh! As if belittled by the prideful aura, two dark red coffins behind Xu Shao began to tremble with an oppressive and terrifying force. Who dares to trespass into my clan's holy land? At this moment, a voice resonated. The voice was like a giant dragon awakening after a long slumber, and the immense pressure instantly enveloped the entire mountain peak square. A mighty force far surpassing Xu Shao's descended from the skies, causing his body to sag slightly, as if a tyrant standing in the heavens was observing a mere mortal. Such terrifying pressure. Xu Shao's eyes turned cold as he stared at a delicate house not far away, his face showing first shock and then ecstatic joy. From this terrifying pressure, It was clear that this individual was the highest leader of the Guardians, and his purpose could now be perfectly fulfilled. Once he stole what the Guardians were guarding, how could the Soul Hall Soul Clan possibly stop him, Xu Shao? Moreover, Xu Shao had always felt that the Soul Clan and Soul Hall were not so simple. Boom! A loud rumble sounded as an old man, with a pale face and a hunched figure, slowly walked out of the elegant house in front of Xu Shao. As the old man appeared, countless breaths in the entire square fell silent, and a profound stillness swept through the air. Reincarnation, huh? Looking at the old man before him, Xu Shao's expression grew complex. Despite having 2 secret coffins as his ultimate trump cards, when facing these old figures, fear still surged from the bottom of his heart. This reincarnation was not the same as that of the past. Hee, what brings a dog of the Soul Hall here today? To amuse yourself with us? This place does not welcome you. Leave. I do not enjoy killing, or else you would surely be annihilated, body and soul. The old man didn't even lift his head, his hand resting on a flawless white jade staff as he took step after step towards Xu Shao. With each step, an overwhelming pressure radiated out, a force capable of effortlessly erasing even an 8-star Do Xian. Hee. The legendary reputation of the Shao clan's guardian is well known throughout the great thousand worlds. Now, seeing it for myself, it truly lives up to its name. Facing the terrifying pressure from the hunched old man, Xu Shao's burden increased, and his voice carried a strange aura, sweeping out. In an instant, the 2 dark red coffins behind him hummed loudly, emanating an extremely hot aura. Countless sinister runes on the coffins twisted and writhed, giving off a chilling sensation. The power within seemed to clash with the old man's aura, holding steady. This is not a place for guardians. You have the wrong address. Leave now, the old man with the white jade staff said, his long white hair rising slightly, revealing a haggard face. His voice held a clear note of warning. Under the haggard features, wrinkles appeared at the sharp angles of the old face, yet traces of grace still lingered. This old man must have been a stunning beauty in her youth. Time had only ravaged her appearance, and now, with age, her looks had faded. I came here today primarily for this. If you, Senior, would allow me to use it, I would be most grateful. I might even help you eliminate the Shao clan. Xu Shao's gaze shifted to the black stone block in the center of the square. A sinister blood-red mark within his body began to stir as he spoke. The power exuding from him was as dark and malevolent as that of an extraterritorial evil clan. This power clearly surpassed that of the Soul Hall, suggesting that Xu Shao was not just the Yellow Hall master of the Soul Hall anymore. Truly impressive, the younger generation is not to be underestimated. Even your Soul Hall master would not dare act so arrogantly with me. But it seems you're quite confident, probably having brought along some old friends, the old man said, slowly raising his head. His penetrating white eyes contained a deep meaning, exuding absolute confidence, as though all the world's power was within his grasp. Hee, the Hall Master is too cautious by nature to achieve great things. The Soul Hall can only rely on me. Only with my leadership will the Soul Hall become the most powerful race in the great thousand worlds. Boom, boom, boom. At that moment, the 2 dark red coffins behind Xu Shao began to hum, wrapping him tightly. An overwhelming, evil aura surged forth. Let's hope you have the ability to back it up. The elderly man snorted coldly, then lightly tapped his jade staff on the ground. A tide-like wave of white energy surged from his body, heading straight for Xu Shao. The powerful force shook the surrounding space, and within it, the power of reincarnation could be felt. Bang! 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 Strangely, when the elderly man's attack struck the area around Xu Shao, it suddenly scattered without any effect. Poof! With a faint sound, a rare sinister smile appeared on Xu Shao's lips. The 2 dark red coffins behind him trembled lightly, and something terrifying seemed to be about to emerge. At that moment, the elderly man's eyes flickered with a glimmer of light. Clearly, what Xu Shao had just unleashed had caught her off guard. The power he wielded was something even the Soul Hall Master did not possess. How could a mere Hall Master of the Soul Hall possess such strength? Matriarch, are you all right? As the battle stalemated, two figures appeared, one after the other, in the square. I'm fine. Looking at Xu Shuiying's arrival, the elderly woman's beautiful eyes softened, a look of satisfaction crossing her face. Xu Shuiying was one of the most talented and insightful disciples among the Guardians. She had been carefully guided by the matriarch, and seeing this young girl grow day by day, the matriarch was genuinely pleased. After all, they had once been the guardians of the Xiao clan, dedicating countless efforts for the clan. Yet in the end, the Xiao clan heartlessly abandoned them, and when they did, their eyes were filled with hateful glares and venomous words, deeply wounding her heart. One day, they would make the Xiao clan regret it profoundly. Are you all right? Xiao Yan's figure soon appeared, looking at Xu Shuiying as she supported the matriarch, and he immediately asked with concern. However, with Xiao Yan's strength, he vaguely sensed the power hidden within the frail body of this seemingly elderly person. This force was probably only a hair's breadth weaker than the demon emperor of the demon realm. Reincarnation? What is this? Just as Xiao Yan appeared, the old man's gaze shifted from relief to confusion. Even though Xiao Yan was trying his best to suppress his aura, a familiar aura was still caught by the matriarch. Matriarch, he is my friend. No need to doubt it. I swear on my life, Xu Shuiying said, her heart slightly startled by the situation, but as the matriarch was so close, she could only grit her teeth secretly and raise her delicate hand. The hatred and resentment of the Guardians towards the Xiao clan had spread among the few high-ranking Guardians. The people of the Xiao clan, in their view, were mischievous by nature and irredeemable. They had once heartlessly abandoned them and even attacked some of the high-ranking members of the Guardians. Later, the Xiao clan vanished from the Great Thousand Worlds. Over time, the Guardians were relentlessly hunted and besieged by countless powerful beings. Forced to take refuge in the toxic swamp, they were able to avoid being pursued by these formidable forces. When they first arrived here, many strong Guardians had fallen in the toxic swamp while trying to carve out a living space. Hence, the resentment towards the Xiao clan had been passed down from generation to generation, leading to the situation today. Friend? The matriarch looked extremely surprised. She knew Xu Shuiying's temperament well, and the way she acted now clearly indicated that she was lying. Xu Shuiying, who always prided herself on being clear-headed and untainted by the mundane world, was now making excuses for a man. This surely suggested something significant. Xu Shao, this time, I'll see where you run to. Xiao Yan tried his best to suppress the Xiao clan's bloodline and aura, but he could only helplessly direct his gaze at the figure of Xu Shao, who was surrounded by a blood-red, evil-patterned barrier and casting some dark sorcery. He smiled. With his current power, he could easily erase Xu Shao, who was at the early stage of 8-star Docian. However, what Xiao Yan was most concerned about was the immortal resurrection, dark magic similar to Lei Shi and the two elders of the Yan clan. That power was undoubtedly closely related to this man. And the so-called resurrection magic in this world could only be controlled by the Angel clan. How had this guy managed to achieve this? Come out, both of you. Let me meet your old friends. Ha ha ha. As Xu Shao looked at the three people in front of him, his face twisted into a sinister, eerie madness. His power surged out, continuously focusing on two dark red coffins. At that moment, the blood patterns on the coffins seemed to awaken like slumbering demonic energy. They moved rapidly, and blood-red evil clouds surged from the sky, emanating a chilling and sinister aura that sent shivers down everyone's spine, freezing their blood in its veins. Is that the power of faith? How could someone at the early stage of 8-star Docian control such power? Not good. Seeing Xu Shao's actions, the matriarch raised her jade staff, sending it flying through the air, piercing the void and heading straight towards Xu Shao, unleashing a destructive force of reincarnation. Too late. Xu Shao sneered, as if he had already won. Crack. The two coffins simultaneously opened, releasing two immense waves of evil energy that flooded the entire plaza in an instant, like a flood of beasts, overwhelming everything. The jade staff, imbued with the power of reincarnation capable of destroying everything, suddenly stopped in midair as it reached Xu Shao. A massive red hand emerged from the coffins, firmly holding the staff in place, rendering it immobile. Yin Clan's Grand Elder. Reincarnation level. Seeing the figure emerging from the coffin, the matriarch's voice was filled with extreme surprise. At that moment, the air in the entire plaza seemed to freeze, and an extremely oppressive aura filled everyone's hearts. A legendary battle was about to ignite. Russell. Old friend, it's been a long time, said an old man with gray hair and red-tinted arms, easily intercepting the matriarch's jade staff. He turned his head toward the matriarch and spoke with a strong, battle-thirsty tone. This guy? Xiao Yan and Xu Shuiying exchanged a glance upon seeing this. They clearly sensed a terrifying, oppressive aura emanating from the old man. Upon seeing that there was nothing in the two coffins behind Xu Shao, they immediately understood what was going on. That aura was unmistakably the power of reincarnation. Yin Feng, the perfect 8-star Docian of the Yin clan, and the Grand Elder Yin Yin. It seems that among the Soul Hall's prodigies of the past 1,000 years, you are the one who stands above all. At this moment, the matriarch's eyes slowly narrowed, and an undeniable aura of terror swept across the entire plaza like crashing waves. Her voice, filled with surprise, showed the utmost astonishment at Xu Shao from the Soul Hall. Even in ancient times, the Soul Hall did not have anyone who could control such a wide range of techniques. Moreover, Xu Shao's current actions were undoubtedly leading him to a path of certain death. Among the 8 ancient clans, apart from the Xiao clan, the clan leaders and elders of the other 7 clans were only at the level of 7-star Docian or 8-star Docian at most. These clans had a long history, and due to their ancient heritage, those who achieved reincarnation or perfected 8-star Docian would rise to become the grand elders of their respective clans, retreating into their clan's forbidden grounds to cultivate. Unless their clans were on the brink of destruction, they would not easily appear. The Grand Elders were the true strategic powerhouses of these clans. This was also why the law enforcers of the Dodi continent placed such restrictions on the ancient clans. After all, once a reincarnation-level powerhouse took action, it could cause a great upheaval. Of course, these were secrets of the 7 ancient clans, known only to the most revered and respected individuals. Xun'er, it's been 10,000 years. I never expected that you two would suffer from the reincarnation calamity and end up like this. At this moment, the old man Yin Yin, standing beside Xu Shao, spoke with a hint of melancholy in his voice, and from his tone, it seemed that the two of them had known each other for a long time. Himph, old bastard Yin Yin, how dare you call my name so casually? Xun'er's hunched figure straightened slightly, and then a surge of anger erupted from her. I'm actually curious about why the Guardians broke ties with the Xiao clan. Yin Yin, the Grand Elder of the Yin clan, was not in a hurry and continued speaking. You're courting death. Provoked by the old man's words, Xun'er's withered hand suddenly rippled with countless white energy waves. Then she clenched her fist, and a force powerful enough to crush everything shot toward him. Whom! In an instant, the plaza seemed to change as the void froze solid. A chilling ice shackles emerged, shooting out one after another, and the aura it unleashed was truly suffocating. Forget it, I've long wanted to challenge the leader of the Guardians, but back then, I was nothing in your eyes. But now, things are different. Today, I will show you that even a defeated foe of your Guardians can make you look up to them. As soon as Yin Yin finished speaking, countless flames surged from his body, instantly turning his white hair into an eerie shade of brown. Brown hair, surrounded by brown flames, accentuated the power of Yin Yin, the Grand Elder of the Yin clan, to the extreme. Reincarnation, but not just touching reincarnation. He had truly stepped into it. My strength has reached an unparalleled level. It is not something your kind of reincarnation can compare with. Since you dare to enter here, then stay here forever. Xun'er's beautiful eyes flashed with an icy, murderous intent so cold that even human souls could freeze. She glared at Yin Yin, and the temperature in the plaza dropped sharply, as if a 10,000-year-cold cave was slowly forming. Whoosh, whoosh. Just being stared at by Xun'er, The space around Yin Yin was immediately bound by ice threads, and countless shards of ice emerged from the void around him, shooting straight toward his vital spots. Crack! Countless ice threads, imbued with ancient reincarnation power, were enough to destroy the heavens and the earth. However, when they pierced through Yin Yan's body, the old man's body was first filled with wounds, as if he was about to perish. In the blink of an eye, he healed completely, as if the wounds had vanished in an instant. Impossible? At this moment, Xiao Yin and Xu Shao furrowed their brows. The undying evil technique that Xu Shao had used actually worked on a reincarnation-level powerhouse. Moreover, as the Grand Elder of the Yin clan, Yin Yan's power was probably among the top 3 in the clan. How had this guy stolen his corpse and placed the undying evil technique on him? After all, Xu Shao was only at the initial stage of 8-star Do Xian. It seems you're well prepared. His strength had already reached the 3rd level of reincarnation. However, when attempting to pass the 4th reincarnation, he failed the tribulation, causing his strength to plummet to the 2nd level in a short time. Furthermore, the foundation within his body was damaged, which kept him stuck at the 2nd level. Otherwise, a Do Xian expert would possess endless life. Had it not been for the tribulation failure, Xun'er wouldn't look so aged. Now, although Yin Yin had only reached the 1st reincarnation, with the dark ailment within him, he could still easily deal with others. However, if this person possessed the bizarre, immortal body, even Xun'er would be helpless. This power was unheard of. Even with Xun'er's vast experience, she knew that only a few individuals in the Great Thousand Worlds could control an immortal body, and these people could never be the ones before her. It seems something is wrong. Xu Shao, the dark red coffin, and these two people, there seems to be some vague connection between them. Is it an illusion? As the two sides were locked in a stalemate, Xiao Yan's soul power and gaze focused on Xu Shao, who was protected by a peak 8-star Do Xian expert. At this moment, Xu Shao looked quite eerie, his entire body shimmering with a rare blood-red hue. On his ethereal forehead, an ancient evil blood mark, which had absorbed countless powers, appeared. At the same time, the blood mark covered with countless blood-red characters trembled slightly. Every time it shook, there was a faint connection to the two coffins. Among those characters was a force that Xiao Yin despised deeply. Xiao Yin, Xu Shao also saw the current situation was incredibly difficult to resolve, and immediately spoke in a low voice. Sigh. This is troublesome. Xiao Yin sighed lightly, releasing his overwhelming soul power. Xiao Yin knew that, both publicly and privately, as the Guardian Lord, Xun'er was someone he had to help. If they were defeated, Xu Shao would likely not spare him either. Right now, new and old grievances would be settled here. This time, no matter what, Xu Shao must not escape. Xiao Yin had a feeling that Xu Shao's threat was likely more terrifying than anyone from the Soul Hall. In the plaza, the black stone slowly floated, with an unfathomable, mysterious force faintly emanating. Among the subtle light, there seemed to be a mocking gleam, as though mocking the world, or perhaps disdainful of everything. That power was far beyond reincarnation. The black stone was surrounded by a terrifying seal formation. Without Xun'er's guidance, anyone rash enough to break it would likely be reduced to ashes, even if they were reincarnation experts. Although the formation appeared transparent, the power contained within was enough to destroy heaven and earth. Get ready. I'll hold off that peak 8-star Do Xian expert for 3 breaths. The rest is up to you. Please. After this is over, I'll tell you everything I know. While Xun'er and Yin Yin were confronting each other, Xu Shao transmitted a message to Xiao Yin through soul power. At that moment, the girl gritted her teeth, clearly feeling a great deal of pressure as she spoke these words. But in order to resolve the current situation, she could only muster the courage to say it. In saying this, Xu Shao's previous prejudices against Xiao Yin had lessened to the lowest point. After all, there were very few guardians. Most of the higher-level experts were in closed-door training. If the Lord failed, not only would they lose what they protected, but they too would not escape misfortune. No need. Xiao Yin looked at Xu Shao with interest, noticing the black flames stirring within her body. He shook his head. Those flames were rather strange. Xiao couldn't pinpoint exactly why, but they genuinely made him feel moved. Moreover, considering that the girl was only a 6-star Docian, Xiao didn't want her to throw her life away unnecessarily. You. Xu Shuiying's eyes narrowed upon hearing this. She couldn't help but scold, stamping her foot in anger. Clearly, she was starting to feel a bit of wrath. Xiao was not just rude. He was also making rash comments. That person was a peak 8-star Docian expert. Xiao should think not only for himself, but also for the Xiao clan. The Xiao clan's descendants were few in number now, yet this person was so arrogant? Xu Shuiying really wished she could slap Xiao into silence. How could he be so stubborn at a time like this? Could it be just because of her previous misunderstanding? Did he not understand that only by staying alive could there be hope? Although the two holy flames within your body are powerful, trying to suppress and merge them through brute force is extremely difficult. They are currently resisting each other, and it seems the black flames haven't been completely refined by you. Using them recklessly now will leave you with severe wounds. Just right. Let me show you my true strength, Xiao said, and his figure moved with ghostly speed, shooting straight towards Xu Shao. As he moved, a series of amber fire arcs flickered in the air, exuding a divine and scorching aura that spread outward. At this moment, Xu Shuiying did not speak or move. She simply clenched her hand lightly. What Xiao had just said was indeed the greatest challenge she was facing at the moment. Humph. Yin Feng, catch him. Xu Shao, seeing this, still maintained the blood mark on his forehead, seemingly connecting with the forces between them. He spoke to the elder beside him. Mid-8-star Docian, with the sacred flame and everything, among the few remaining descendants of the Xiao clan, you can indeed be considered an extraordinary existence. However, that's all you are. Back in the day, your Xiao clan ancestors oppressed my Yin clan greatly, and today, I'll let you, their descendant, pay a little bit of the price, Yin Feng said as his brow furrowed. A bright red flame slowly appeared from deep within his body, burning with a subtle heat. The power was enough to easily wipe Xiao out completely. An 8-star Docian at full mastery is indeed very strong, but I'm not in the mood to play with you now. Dark Nether Soldier. Xiao figure moved rapidly, and then a hidden seal flashed on his palm. In an instant, a gigantic black shadow appeared behind him, its massive form overshadowing the entire square, blocking out much of the sky. At the same time, waves of dark, mysterious power formed two indestructible dark cloaks around Xiao and the Dark Nether Soldier, exuding an extreme darkness and endless coldness. Clearly, in the face of a true 8-star Docian at full mastery, Xiao had to go all out, or else, with his current strength, he would have no power to resist. An 8-star Docian at full mastery was truly terrifying. Dark creature? Looking at the gigantic figure that suddenly appeared beside Xiao everyone, except Xu Shao, gasped in surprise. Among them, the exclamation of Matriarch Xun'er was the loudest. Darkness was closely tied to the Netherworld realm, and even Xun'er was unclear about the past relationship between the Xiao clan and the Netherworld. At this moment, she couldn't help but start to doubt Xiao true identity. However, due to the intimidating presence of Yin in front of her, she refrained from voicing her thoughts. Get away. Yin Feng, initially startled, quickly transformed the red flames on his body into a cold and extreme fiery spear, which he gripped tightly in his palm. With a cold grunt, he aimed it at the Dark Nether Soldier. As soon as the words left his mouth, Yin Feng stomped his foot heavily, using the recoil force from the ground to launch himself. The immense Do Qi within his body flared up, erupting like a volcano. The spear's tip gleamed with a cold, sharp light as he charged straight at the Dark Nether Soldier with terrifying momentum. Roar, roar, roar. The Dark Nether Soldier made no response, but exchanged a brief glance with Xiao. It then lifted its massive body, and dark ripples appeared around it, as it stomped towards Yin Feng and Xu Shao. Meanwhile, Xiao, with all his flare mantra and sacred flame activated, slowly began to gather a terrifying energy that seemed to shake the very heavens. Boom! In an instant, the sky collapsed, and the world changed color. Countless dark ripples flashed like blades, exuding a chilling, murderous intent. Flame spear. Yin Feng, seeing this, even sneered coldly. The fire spear in his hand trembled, and countless sharp fiery threads shot out from it, aiming to collide with the massive kick of the dark nether soldier. Crash! Without any unnecessary fluctuation, the two attacks collided, causing the space above the entire square to shake violently. The sense of distortion intensified, sending a chilling shiver down their spines. In the blink of an eye, a flame broke free from the center of the clash and spread across the rough terrain. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, the once solid ground of the square cracked open, revealing a fissure hundreds of meters long. The sound of stone breaking echoed loudly. Try this. At the moment the dark nether soldier seemed to be at a disadvantage, amber-colored flames transformed into liquid and shot out from Xiao Yan's body. In a short while, a small lotus seed, glowing with 5 colors, slowly rested before Xiao Yan. At this moment, the explosive energy in the square suddenly quieted down. Yin Feng and the dark nether soldier separated. This guy. Looking at Xiao Yan, drenched in sweat and with a serious expression, Su Shuiying couldn't help but bite her lip in shock as she saw the weak lotus seed that contained the power to obliterate everything before Xiao Yan. You! At this moment, seeing the level of attack in front of Xiao Yan, Feng Wanner's aged body suddenly moved. There's also me. Although Yin Yin didn't understand why Feng Wanner was in such a strange state, he didn't confront her again. The two of them, both in the reincarnation stage, took action once more. Fall to me. Xiao Yan's heartbeat quickened, and the blood within his body boiled. His scalp nearly turned to dust as his body tightened and leapt. Before long, he launched the 5-colored Buddha's Fury reincarnation directly at Yin Feng. Xiao Yan wanted to see for himself if this so-called immortal